Hello, I'm ChessChuck. I'm glad to see you here. All right, my fellow chess enthusiasts, buckle up for fun and excitement as we are going to learn about different ways to checkmate your opponent's king and win the game. As you know, the goal of the game is to put your opponent's king under attack, where the king, like a mouse in a mousetrap, has no way to escape and will get killed by one of your pieces. If it sounds terrifying, it is, especially if you are the king. One of the most common checkmates is fool's mate. While both sides are developing their pieces, the white queen suddenly comes out to h5 on move 3, attacking both pawns, on e5 and f7. When the black knight comes out to defend the e5 pawn, the queen captures the pawn on f7 and announces checkmate as the black king has no moves. Fool's mate, also sometimes referred to as the scholar's mate or the four-move checkmate, is a very interesting mate. It illustrates why it can be quite dangerous to attack black's f7 pawn, which is the only pawn protected by the king and no other piece. When two white pieces are attacking it, the results can be fatal for the black king. This is why kings need to castle in the beginning of the game. The ladder mate. The ladder mate is an easy checkmate, typically performed by a queen and rook, or just two rooks. The two pieces work together to push the enemy king to the side of the board. Since it is a very common checkmate pattern, it is one of the first checkmate methods that a beginner should learn. The other common beginner checkmate is a back rank checkmate. In this position, the king may appear safe because it has castled and has pawns in front of it for protection. However, while protecting the king from the front, overlooking the potential dangers from the side can be a grave mistake. So a rook or a queen can slide over to the back rank and checkmate the king. To avoid back rank checkmates, consider moving one of your pawns in front of the king, one square, to create an escape route from the back rank checkmate. Such a move is called a Luft, which in German means air, signifying breathing space for your king. However, you must be very careful, since there are ways to block king's escape routes. Even though the black king has a Luft on h7, the square is attacked by the white bishop. And once again, moving the rook to the last rank, the black king gets checkmated. You can also create a Luft on the g7 square, however. By moving the queen to h6, like hungry vultures, the queen and bishop swoop in around the black king, leaving no escape options and guaranteeing a checkmate on the next move. Here is another example of poorly executed Luft. Here the white rook moves all the way up to the last rank, and with support of the dark squared bishop, announces checkmate. Here is another position where a king with an unfortunately designed Luft gets checkmated. So the white knight jumps to e7, checking the king. Since the black squares g7 and h8 are controlled by the powerful dark squared bishop, the knight move turns out to be not just a check, but a checkmate. Be aware, these checkmates are achievable only due to the Luft, permitting the white bishop to laser across the diagonal, thus asphyxiating the black king. Remember to maintain your king's safety when executing a Luft. Moving on to another interesting checkmate pattern called the Smothered Mate. Now let's analyze the following position. The black queen and rook are ready to launch an assault on the white king, while the white queen and knight are trying to attack the black king. Here the white knight has several ways to jump out and give the black king a discovered check from the queen. But the best place for the knight to move is h6, which results in a double check. Both the knight and the queen are attacking the black king simultaneously. Have you ever seen anything like this before? The black king must run to the corner, otherwise the white queen would give him a checkmate on f7. Now the king seems safe, and now seemingly the best white can hope for is to jump back and forth with the knight, forcing a draw. However, out of nowhere, the white queen sacrifices itself on g8. And after the black rook captures the queen, the knight jumps back to f7, but this time the poor black king is completely smothered by its own pieces, and the knight checkmates the king. The Legal's mate is named after the French player Sir de Legal. This very famous mate demonstrates the importance of castling your king, rather than leaving it in the center where it is subject to attacks. Here you can see how a bishop and two knights coordinate together and trap the king in a mating net. This mating pattern is known for its surprising and elegant finish, often ending the game in fewer than 10 moves. The Opera Mate. Now for quite possibly the most famous checkmate, which happened over 150 years ago. The game took place in 1858 in an opera house located in Paris. Paul Morphy, the American attacking genius, played with the white pieces against two noblemen who collaborated to play the black pieces. Paul Morphy opened the game with the move e4, to which the Duke, playing black, responded with e5. Their game quickly developed into a Philidor defense, a solid but slightly passive opening. As the game progressed, Morphy demonstrated his attacking prowess. He sacrificed his pieces to gain a strategic advantage, a move that was both daring and brilliant. This strategy allowed him to open lines for his rooks and queen, creating a powerful attack that his opponents were unable to counter. The climax of the game came when Morphy launched a stunning queen sacrifice. This move was not just a tactical necessity, but a strategic masterpiece. It allowed Morphy to set up a checkmate that would be remembered for generations to come. Oh wow, that opera game remains one of the most famous games in the history of chess. As you can see, today's video was packed with information about various checkmate patterns. I hope you had a great time watching it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. Please show your support with a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.